Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating and honestly powerful new way of looking at how to transform organizations. We're not talking about top-down directives, but about changing things from the inside out. It's a methodology called business healing.
So, let's just jump right in with a question that really gets to the core of what so many companies struggle with. What if the real reason your sales are dipping, or your team is burning out? What if that reason can't be found in any of your KPIs? What if it's something deeper, something invisible?
Okay, so first things first, to really get what this is all about, we have to be super clear about what it's not. This isn't some vague new age trend that's just passing through.
Yeah, this slide draws a really hard line in the sand. We're not talking about crystals or feel-good motivational speeches. Instead, this is all about directly facing the disorder that everybody knows is there, but nobody wants to talk about. It's about restoring the actual energy of the system and applying a very real, intentional structure to fix what's actually broken. You know, companies get sick, just like people do. But their symptoms, they show up on the balance sheet and in the hallways. Sales start to drop, communication completely breaks down, great people get burned out, and suddenly nobody's taking responsibility for anything. The original purpose, the whole reason the company started, it just gets lost. These are basically cries for help.
This quote, this gets right to the core idea. The source material talks about skeptical leaders who come in saying, I don't believe in this stuff. And the response is so telling. It doesn't matter if you believe in it. The idea is that there's an invisible energy field holding up the entire business, and when that field is out of whack, the effects are very, very real, whether you acknowledge the cause or not.
So if it's not all mysticism and magic, then what exactly is it? Let's try to define what's actually meant when we talk about healing the soul of a business system. And here's the crucial part. Business healing is presented as a practical tool. It's not a theory. It's an applied structure, a practice focused on reordering that invisible foundation. You know, the culture, the purpose, the flow, because that is what holds up everything you can see. All the visible results, like productivity, innovation, and sales. All right, so this isn't just some vague concept. It's actually built on a really clear and actionable framework. It all comes down to 3 core pillars that are said to govern a company's vital energy.
So the first pillar is leadership, but it's defined in a very specific way here. It's all about assuming your proper place and responsibility within the whole system. It's about doing what you, in your specific role, are actually meant to do.
So when leadership is healthy, a leader is acting from purpose, not from their ego. They take full responsibility instead of pointing fingers. They execute with total clarity. For instance, a healed leader ends a meeting with concrete action items, owners, and deadlines, not just some vague ideas. And when that happens, the energy just flows, the office drama disappears, and the entire focus shifts right back to getting results.
Now, let's talk about the second pillar, and this is where the definition might really surprise you. Spirituality. But forget everything you think that means. No meditation, no incense. In this framework, spirituality is structure.
I mean, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? In this context, spirituality is your daily agenda, but executed with real intention. It's your processes, your routines, your systems. It's the structure that holds the entire organization up, but it's a structure filled with purpose, not one that's just empty and draining.
The third and final pillar is sales, and it's completely reframed here. It's got nothing to do with manipulation or just hitting targets. It's about how the company shares its unique value, its light, so to speak, with the world.
So from this point of view, selling becomes an act of service. It's a circulation of energy between the company and its customers. The source argues that if a company is struggling to sell, it's not an economic block, it's an energetic block. Something in its core energy is stuck, and it's unable to share its value freely.
So you see, it all has to be in balance. Leadership provides the direction. Spirituality provides the structure to sustain that direction. And sales expands that focused, sustained energy out into the world. When those 3 things are aligned, the business doesn't just get better, it literally comes back to life. Now let's see how all these pillars connect back to what the source describes as the single most critical element in this entire process, the leader. Because as you'll see, you just can't separate the two. This right here, this is a foundational belief of the entire methodology. You can have the best processes in the world and a brilliant team, but if the leader is energetically out of alignment, the whole system is eventually going to reflect that chaos. You have to heal the person who sustains the business before you can heal the business itself.
And look, this isn't just about feelings or intuition. The source material is really clear that this whole process is grounded in concrete data. The entire goal is to take these invisible energy dynamics and make them visible, trackable, and, measurable.
So how in the world do they measure this? Well, they use something called a Level 3 consciousness reading. Let me break that down. Think of energetic coherence as a measure of how aligned and focused a leader's personal energy is. Are they scattered and stressed, or are they centered on their purpose? That creates their own personal energy signature. And that signature is then mapped against the company's signature, and it shows you, with data, exactly where the leader and their system are in sync and where they're creating friction.
And all of this leads to a really tough, self-reflective question. It's posed directly to leaders, and the source actually calls it the roast. Are you the bottleneck? Can you really heal a system if its energy, its vibration, is already higher than your own? It's a profound and maybe uncomfortable challenge.
Ultimately, when you put this all together, it's positioned as something much bigger than just a new consulting model. It's framed as a kind of silent revolution, one that's fundamentally changing our relationship with work, with leadership, and with our own sense of purpose.
It all starts by knocking down that false wall we've built between purpose and profit. The argument is that when a company's soul is healthy and aligned, revenue isn't just a goal, it's a natural, inevitable outcome.
It continues by bringing real structure and data to ideas that were, for a long time, just dismissed as being too out there or abstract. It insists that the lifeblood of an organization, its energy, can and absolutely should be measured and managed.
And it leaves us with this final, really powerful idea, that the place where we spend so much of our lives doesn't have to be a source of stress and exhaustion. That work itself, when we approach it with this kind of consciousness and intention, can become a profound vehicle for healing, not just for the company, but for every single person within it.